Dan Brown, Toy and Plastic Brick Museum, Blair, Ohio. To my right, you'll see the first large-scale model that I actually purchased online. The owl came from Australia, and he turned around. He was an old store display, and a friend of mine was doing the robotics building for Lego at the time, and he also did animatronic chickens. So that was an animatronic chicken coop, and the chicken was dysfunctional, so he pulled the chicken and put the owl in it. So underneath the owl was the mechanism that turned around and made the chicken squawk and turn around in a circle. But it worked out pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you've got some more. This is kind of a zoo-themed room here, so you got some more Lego animals.
Yep. We thought the monkey taking the picture was very cool. This monkey right here sitting on the tire, he's got an interesting thing to him, a theme to him. His eyes make it look like he's watching you from every direction. You're actually looking at yourself, but it shines enough where you actually see yourself move, so it actually looks like he's following you. But a lot of people don't notice is the tree behind there. That was a prototype model from Legoland, California, where they had the different trees that had faces and things like that. So I was able to actually get a prototype and then put it up there, and the monkey with the banana in the back, he was just a store display. But he turned out real well, so we turned around and made our little zoo.
Yeah, very nice. You got kind of the tree face back there, and then over here you've got, what else you got over here?
This is the circle of life. This is when I do my adult fan tours. This is the one of the, we kind of tell jokes as we go along, and I'm not sure if I can do it. I haven't done an adult fan tour in a while. Let's see. The carrots are eaten by the rabbits are eaten by the chupacabra is eaten by the lion, and of course Garfield's the top of every food chain. So I think I got that right. But yeah, we had a little girl that came in and turned around and they set this all up. She put the rabbits and the carrots around and stuff like that. She's now, I think, 16 years old. So she was 6 when she did it. So this was one of the first displays that we set up. We have the next model over has a really touching story to it. So each model that we have in the museum has a story or a background or at least a pretty creative yarn that went along with it to be able to say, okay, this is how we got it. This is what we got. We're basically enough to write a book. So it's kind of fun collecting something that's not really collectible, because these just aren't available, but yet here they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's incredible. You got the stories going on with it, and then you've even got like kind of hay kind of stuff going on, straw and things with the actual zoo.
Winnie the Pooh. Winnie was an interesting one. I actually won him on eBay, and it was kind of a sad story. The person that was selling him was actually deploying for the war. So he was basically, he had to go, and I guess he reached enough of a rank where his entire family could come with him, and Winnie the Pooh was sitting in his daughter's room. So I won it at like 5 o'clock that evening, and he actually drove it here that night. So he shows up at midnight with a crate with the Winnie the Pooh in it. So, and he was, like I said, he was deploying the next day. So he sold it on eBay, drove it here, went and was deployed, and his family followed him a week later. So I've heard from him a number of times during the years. He's fine. But yeah, they still miss their Winnie the Pooh that she had in her trailer on the military base. So he had to sell it and all their belongings because they were jumping on a plane and going overseas. But I think we won the war. I'm not sure.
And then moving on down here, you've got...
this one was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. There was actually 2 models that were Ellen themed, and this was one of them. And they basically just showed them on the show, and then everybody kind of forgot about them in a warehouse. So here they are.
Mm-hmm. And something like that, how would you track down a model like that? Is that just...
different people call me. And I had tags out all over the place looking for models, looking for store displays, looking for large glued Lego models. It's interesting what people find in their basements. Or, as we have one downstairs found in a strip club. You just never know. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. And again, when you're trying finding things to match a theme, that's impossible. But if you just put out a general call and say, I'm looking for something wild and weird, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. And then this other big one you've got here is the giraffe.
Oh, the giraffe is very interesting. You basically have a unglued model. It was in a store that closed down, and it was not a Lego display. It was just built by an adult fan, and the adult fan decided that he wanted to do something out of Lego. That's a freestanding model. He came here and actually built it and put it in place because he said he's one of the few people that can actually make it stand up and go. The only things is inside of his legs. There are metal posts like they would have for a like an upright for a store display. Sure. So he just did that to make sure the legs don't buckle. But besides that, it is a freestanding model. He came in with an A-frame ladder and locked it all in place and put it all up. And then The little guy right there, he's actually a dumpster dive. The body and the head are actually two different models. They actually have tags on the back of them from someone who went and took them out of the dumpster and then sold them on eBay. So they were able to actually put them all together. So this was a store display or a lineup display that they had at one of the Legolands, and they turned around and the guy dumpster dived and found a head and a body, and they matched up, and it worked out great. So now we got 2 giraffes in the museum zoo. So, and my old fence that was in my front yard is actually the top.
Oh, I was wondering where you got that from. This is in your front yard.
My old fence in my front yard that we built the chicken coops and the frames, and we had an artist come in and paint all of the grass and stuff like that, so it looked nicer. And again, we reused everything we can get our hands on, because this was one of those situations where we weren't we didn't have a lot of money, but we wanted to do something really cool.
Yeah, and so when you coming up for a theme with a room like this, is it just based on you had a lot of these animal builds, so you wanted to do like a zoo type theme, or how did you decide to do this?
Well, we had the Winnie the Pooh in the zoo. That was the theme of the room, and after that, it just kind of grew from there. Okay. So we were able to find different models that matched, and we would say, okay, we've got another model that's good for the zoo. Okay, well, we've got 2 models that are good for the zoo. Okay, well, this model might work with this, and let's have it interact with that. Or we've got 3 monkeys. Let's put them in a I wanted to do the hear no evil, see no evil thing, and then that didn't work out. So we turned around and came up with the sitting on the tire and the guy taking the picture of the owl and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are really cool. Thanks for showing those to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.